not really sure when you're ending that. So.
Yeah. How do we want to end that?
I mean, I think you'll just like when you feel like we're cooking, you'll just la 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 la.
Yeah.
Just a little slow, significant
a final acapella
slowing.
too is always nice.
Great.
Yeah.
I really felt like my voice felt better today until I.
Until you breathe smoke.
Yeah, until I oversaw the creation of a small campfire by one Otto Ogman.
Okay. Yikes. Okay. So here, anything else you want to go through? That sounds intense. I want to go check one thing. Anything else we want to go through together as a little team? I'm just going to be following you and so grateful to be. Okay, awesome. In that case, don't forget a Siddur. That's what I always forget.
Yeah.
And I will be back in but a moment. Okay? Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ah, la 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 la, ah, la 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 la, ya la.
You can take the mask off. I da 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 da. I da 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 da. I da 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 da. Da 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 da. La da da da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. Now, this is going to be a round.
Hold it up really close to your mouth.
This is going to be a round in 3 parts, but let's all sing it together a few more times first.
Can you hear? I feel like it's, yeah, let's
If I
just
do
make
this,
sure we're
you can
really
hear
close
me?
to the mic. Great.
I'll do this. Let's all just sing together a little bit. I da 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 da. I da 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 da. I da 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 da. La da da da. La da da da. La da 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 da. I da 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 da. I da 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 da. I da 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 da. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La da 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 da. I da 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 da. I da 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 da. La 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 la. La 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 la. La da 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 da. One more time. I da 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 da. I da 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 da. I da 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 da. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Now you can follow, join me, or Rabbi Ariel, or Jake or Talia. You have 3 options.
Good luck.
I will start. I da 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 da.
I la 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 la.
I da 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 da. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Yesher koach to John, whose composition that is so beautiful. Can we take a breath together, please? Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shir tikva. I'm Rabbi Ariel. For those of you I don't know yet, I use she, her pronouns, and I'm so glad to welcome you here to Shir Tikva. I want to just describe the scene for a moment. I have brown hair and light skin, and I'm wearing a headband and glasses, and I'm standing in front of 3 Torot, whose backdrop just last week was fixed, so we can now see light shining through in time for spring. I am so grateful to be leading this Shabbat service with Aaron Burke and with Talia Cohen and Jake Porter, and I'm so grateful to John Ornstein for leading us off in song. So welcome to each of you who is joining us on Zoom and on YouTube, and welcome to each of you who is here in this sanctuary here on unceded Dakota land on 50th Street in Minnehaha Creek. I want to invite you, if you are on Zoom and it's possible, to turn your cameras on so you can be together with your chat and with your sweet faces shining. I want to ask here in space and also on YouTube and on Zoom, is there anyone in this space who's joining us at Shir Tikva for the very first time? Welcome! Great. Amazing. Welcome. I hope for those of us who are here, who are returners to Shir Tikva, can you raise your hands for one more moment? When we greet each other later, no swarming, but please be friendly. Is there anyone who's in this space who is returning to Shir Tikva for the first time into the sanctuary space since COVID started? Welcome. Welcome. So we do not take this gathering for granted. We do not take this far-flung, beautiful interweave of our minyan on Zoom, on YouTube, and in person. And I want to say a special thanks to our Makom minyan, to the folks who are helping to hold our container on Zoom with live captioning and facilitation. I just want to say thank you to you and for your care. And for your tending of our community spirit. So we've been saying Shehechianu every week for those who are here for the first time and for those who are returning to the Shir Tikva sanctuary. And every week I say, I'm going to find out what page Shehechianu's on. And every week we get to Friday, I'm like, did I do that? No. So we're just going to take a moment, I'm going to find it, and then we are going to bless. And if someone else beats me, I will be proud of you. It's on page 344. Thank you. Julie's proud of me. So on 344, I want to invite all of us at home in this space, no matter where we are, to just access the feeling of newness, of wonder. It's Shehechianu is our blessing on new moments, which is the second song on page 344. Let's sing together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shehechianu v'kirmanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Amen. Welcome back. What a joy. Speaking of joy, it's my joy to invite Naomi Walltower to come and light Shabbat candles on behalf of our community. If you're at home, I invite you please to gather your kindling devices and to light along with us.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu
mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
So let's sing. L'chun Ranana. Psalm 95 is found on page 12 in Mishkan Tefillah, number 2 in our online Siddur.
There it is.
L'chun Ranana.
Sweet chaos of singing together. Oh, thank you. We continue on page 13, or number 3. Yismechu Hashamayim. Yismechu Hashamayim, if you're in the book, is the beginning of the second paragraph.
Yada
ישמחו השמיים
ותגל הארץ
ותגל הארץ
ירם הים
ירם הים ומלוא
ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ ירם הים ומלוא ידדלי ידי ידדלי ידי ידדלי ידדלי ידדלי
We continue on page 14, Psalm 97, verse 10, Or Zarua Latzadik, which is the beginning of the third paragraph. We sing, Or Zarua Latzadik, light is sown. Zera is a seed. And this week we're watching in Minnesota, we're watching seeds that have been dormant for like 3 years. How long was winter? It was like really long. These 3 years of seeds just waiting, or something like, whee! So let's just imagine light like that. That's sort of like, oh, we didn't even know there was light seeded in our hearts. We didn't know because it was so long. And all of a sudden, it's Shabbat, and we're like, oh. So can we just let light beam like these sweet, sweet seedlings just meeting spring.
Or Zarua
Latzadik u'lishre lev tzimcha. Or Zarua Latzadik u'lishre lev tzimcha. Latzadik u'lishre lev tzimcha. Or Zarua Latzadik u'lishre lev tzimcha. Light is returning, even though it is the darkest hour. No one can hold back the dawn. Light is returning, even though it is the darkest hour. No one can hold back the dawn. O Zarua Latzadik u'lishre lev tzimcha. We continue with Ana Bechoach, which is found on our blue inserts, or number 5 in the online Siddur. Ana Bechoach, release us from that which is tangling us up, which is binding us from being the person we're trying to be, from opening to what is possible. This is the blessing for sun after long rain. From The Art of Blessing the Day by Marge Piercy. This is the blessing for sun after long rain. Now everything shakes itself free and rises. The trees are bright as pushcart ices. Every last lily opens its satin thighs. The bees dance and roll in pollen, and the cardinal at the top of the pine sings at full throttle, fountaining. This is the blessing for a ripe peach. This is luck made round. Frost can nip the blossom, kill the bee. It can drop a hard green useless nut. Brown fungus, the burrowing worm that coils in rot, can blemish it and wind crush it on the ground. Yet this peach fills my mouth with juicy sun. This is the blessing for the first garden tomato. Those green boxes of tasteless acid the store sells in January, those red things with the savor of wet chalk, they mock your fragrant name. How fat and sweet you are weighing down my palm, warm as the flank of a cow in the sun. You are the savor of summer in a thin red skin. This is the blessing for a political victory. Although I shall not forget that things work in increments and epicycles and sometimes leaps that half the time fall back down. Let's not relinquish dancing while the music fits into our hips and bounces our heels. We must never forget pleasure is as real as pain. The blessing for the return of a favorite cat. The blessing for love returned, for friends return, for money received unexpected, the blessing for the rising of the bread, the sun, the oppressed. I am not sentimental about old men mumbling the Hebrew by rote, with no more feeling than one says Gesundheit. But the discipline of blessings is to taste each moment, the bitter, the sour, the sweet and the salty, and be glad for what does not hurt. The art is in compressing attention to each little and big blossom of the tree of life, to let the tongue sing each fruit, its savor, its aroma, and its use. Attention is love. What we must give children, mothers, fathers, pets, our friends, the news, the woes of others. What we want to change, we curse and then pick up a tool. Bless whatever you can with eyes and hands and tongue. If you can't bless it, get ready to make it new. So as we welcome Shabbat tonight, let us bless this moment with the fullness of our attention. May we bless whatever we can with eyes and hands and tongue. And let us rise in body and spirit as we welcome Shabbat L'Chadodi. Page 20, number 6.
L'Chadodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela L'Chadodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Shabbat במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה נקדש מלך עיר מלוכה ומצעי מתהפך רב לך שבט במקבך והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה התנערי מעפר קודמי לבשי בגדי תפתח עמי על יד בן ישי בית הלחמי נפשי גאלה התעוררתי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לא תבושי ולא תקמי מה תשתוכחי ומה תהמי בך יחסו אני עמי ונבנתה עיר הצילה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה והיו לי שיסה שוסי ורחקו כל מבלי יסלי אלוהי עם סוס חתנה קלה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי על יד איש בן פרצי ונצבך עיני
Whatever you have to open, open it. If it's your door, if it's your window, if it's your cupboard, if it's your heart, whatever you have available to open to welcome Shabbat, let us go. Greet Shabbat. She's coming. She's here.
Boi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam besimcha uvetzola. Toch emunei am segula, boi chala, boi chala. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. La la da da da, da 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 da, Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Shabbat Shalom. Wow, that's really nice. Thank you, you two. We're going to take this time now to greet each other. We're going to have 5 minutes. For those of you who've been paying attention, that's more than we've been getting lately. Enjoy that extra minute, savor it. We'll see each other back in 5 minutes. Good Shabbos, please. And if you're here in person, feel free to approach each other and introduce yourselves and say Shabbat Shalom. La 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 ya la 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 ah la la ya la 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 ah la 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 ya la 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 ah la ya la 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 ah la la ya la 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 ah ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya ya la 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 ah la ya la ya la 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 la. The list of my comedy of errors with trying to do hybrid is continuing. I was just so happy that folks on Zoom were singing with me without realizing that I just had my microphone, like my volume up so I could hear myself singing back. Which is a great recipe to not feel lonely, just sing with yourself. But, we do our best. Hey, Aaron.
Hi.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
I would love
Welcome
to.
up to the Bima.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Shabbat Shalom. My name is Aaron. I use he, him pronouns. I'm the rabbinic intern here, one of the rabbinic interns here at Shir Tikva. And for visual access, I have light skin and glasses and a beard and a sunshine yellow polo shirt. That was my goal, was to match the energy outside. And we're going to continue with our Mariv service with the call to prayer, Baruch Hu. It's on page 28 in Mishkan Tefillah, and it's number 7 in our online Siddur. Please rise. Oh. And I dropped papers. Thank you. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya ya la la la. Ya ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ay ay la la la. Ay ay la la la. Ay ay nai 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 nai. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach hamevorach leolam vaed hamevorach hamevorach leolam vaed. You may be seated. We now turn to, thank you so much, page 34 in Mishkan Tefillah, and number 9 on the online Siddur for Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed Ve'afta et Adonai Elohecha Bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha vishinantam levanecha vidibarta bam בשבתך בביתך ובלבתך בדרך ובשלתך ובקומך ובשרתם להיות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך ובטחתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו לעשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם
אדוני
אלוהיכם אמת. So we turn to page 40 in our Siddur, and that's number 11 on the online Siddur for Mi Chamocha. It's a joyous song of crossing the sea into freedom. And I kind of forgot how joyous this community was in person. I took a week off. And oh my gosh, to hear your voices is so beautiful. So let's keep that going, huh? Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef eleh. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Zelianu ve'amru, Zelianu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. V'nemar kifad Adonai Yaakov u'galo mazad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai ka'al Yisrael.
Amen. We take this time now to pray for peace. And we'll begin with words by Rabbi Natan Sternhartz, who is a Ukrainian rabbi from the 19th century. Those are the words, it's number 2 in our blue sheet and also in our online Siddur. We have been praying with these words for a long time now. May we continue to aim our prayers with this prayer and with Hashkivenu Ufrosalenu. Just aim our prayers exactly where they need to go. I'm going to invite you to please just take a moment to find your own kavanah, to find your own intention as we pray for peace. יהי רצון מלפניך, אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, שתבטל מלחמות ושפיכות דמים מן העולם, ותמשיך שלום גדול ונפלא בעולם, ולא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, ולא ילמדו עוד מלחמה, רק יכירו וידעו כל יושבי תבל האמת לאמיתו, אשר לא באנו לזה העולם בשביל ריב ומחלוקת, ולא בשביל שנאה וקנאה וקנטור ושפיכות דמים. רק באנו לעולם כדי להכיר אותך, תתברך לנצח. ובכן תרחם עלינו, ויקום בנו מקרא שכתוב, ונתתי שלום בארץ. ושכבתם בין מחריד, והשבתי וחיירה מן הארץ, והרב לא תעבור בצכם, ויגל כמים משפט, וצדקה כנחל איתן, כי מלאה הארץ דעה את אדוני, כמים לים מכסים. May we see the day when war and bloodshed cease, When a great peace will embrace the whole world, then nation will not threaten nation, and humankind will not again know war. For all who live on earth shall realize we have not come into being to hate or to destroy. We have come into being to praise, to labor, and to love. Compassionate One, bless the people of all nations with the power of compassion. Fulfill the promise conveyed in Torah, I will bring peace to the land, and you shall lie down and no one shall terrify you. I will rid the land of vicious beasts, and it shall not be ravaged by war. Let love and justice flow like a mighty stream. Let peace fill the earth as the waters fill the sea. Let us say together, Amen. Ufros Aleinu is page 42, number 13. Third line from the top.
Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha v'taknenu b'etzat tova milfanecha v'hoshienu. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha v'taknenu b'etzat tova milfanecha v'hoshienu. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha v'taknenu b'etzat tova milfanecha
Of course, we can only sing about Shabbat after we've accessed peace. I never thought about that before. Why we sing Vishamru right after Hashkivenu. We have to touch the feeling of peace to be able to say, so we'll protect this feeling, we'll care for this feeling, we'll cultivate this feeling of rest and peace. So we sing Hashkivenu, and then we open to Vishamru on page 44.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל
לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובן בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We take this time now to share aloud what we're feeling grateful for, that we might allow ourselves to access moments of personal prayer and tefillah, bolstered by wonder and by appreciation for each other's gratitude. It's pretty inspiring. So I'm going to invite you, please share gratitude in the chat. Share gratitude aloud. Let's just create a cloud of gratitude. Serotonin. Birthdays. Macomb minion. Oh, I could just listen to these all night. So let's please gather, like it's a bouquet of gratitude. Let's gather this bouquet of gratitude together as we rise in body and spirit for our Amidah. We'll begin together on page 46, and then we'll be in quiet where you're invited to use the words of our Siddur or the words of your heart, or maybe a little bit of both. And we'll gather back together on page 62 or number 16 for Oseh Shalom. Adonai sfatai tiftach ufi agid tehillatcha Adonai sfatai tiftach ufi agid
Say shalom bimroma. Uya say shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Ve'imru. Ve'imru, Amen. Oh, say shalom bimroma. Oh, yeah, say shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, Amen. Oh, say shalom bimroma. Oh, yeah, say shalom aleinu. Israel, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, Say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru,
With hearts open wide, we pray for healing. I invite you, please, to share the names of loved ones you're praying for those you're praying for in the chat, and just share their names aloud at this time. I'm going to look around the room, and I invite you to share their names. Don't wait for me to look at you. If you feel like it's time to share the names aloud, please do. Yishberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak veYaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel veLeah Uyivarech veYirapeh et hacholim el narefanala el narefanala el
Elna refanala, elna refanala. Shabbat Shalom. So, what does it mean to be an activist shul, my friends? What does it mean to be a shul that dedicates its energy and its resources to tikkun olam, to bringing the broken pieces of our world into better alignment? I know we all, because we're this community, I know we all have a different imagination of how we would live this challenge out. I know that we are in deep experimentation and that we don't always get it right, but that it is our bedrock commitment and shared vision of a healed world that keeps us showing up for and with each other. This week, I've been sunk deep inside this question. As we face the scary probability of the overturn of Roe v. Wade, I've been asking myself hard questions about what it means to be a shul that seeks to participate actively in resistance, in system healing. Part of the ache of this time, I think, is the simultaneous reckoning with the urgency of the moment, the pulsing need to do and fix now, and our anxious questions. Is there room for us? Is there room for our tradition? Do we have access to our collective wisdom and insight enough so that we can bring it to bear? Are we enough for this moment? Certainly, with the obvious Christian religious overtones of the agenda to overturn Roe, the question of how we show up as Jews to this conversation is challenging. And so I dedicate this teaching tonight in service of resourcing us, that we might truly wrestle with our tradition, so that we might participate in the true transformation and healing of our system, that we might add to and strengthen the tools in our collective toolbox in our big work of tikkun olam. So I'm going to be talking about abortion. And I want to invite you, if this content will trigger you or make it hard for you to be here, please step away for the next 6 minutes or so. I invite you to close your computer and sing a nigun or step into the oneg hall. The world we're living in is asking a lot of us. So please know that you can exit this conversation at any time, whether right now or at any other time during this dvar. I am offering these words in love and hope you will take care of yourselves in the ways that are compassionate and gentle for you. So my hope tonight, as we learn together, is to establish a shared understanding of the core beliefs in Jewish thought about abortion and reproductive health. That as we navigate these next days and weeks and months, we might be able to displace the prevailing understanding of religion, read certain sects of Christianity's perspective on abortion. I hope that we will return to this learning together, that we will become chevruta, partners in learning for each other. May we encourage each other to build on our learning to action, to imagine justice in radical new ways, and by radical, I mean rooted in the best and most redemptive readings of our tradition. Collective breath. Oh, good, let's do another one. Here we go. So it is very difficult for me to read rabbinic texts about women's bodies and queer bodies and gender nonconforming bodies. I don't trust the rabbis to get it right. I don't trust the rabbis to have our backs. I don't trust the rabbis to understand our experience. And they do get much wrong in conversations about pregnancy and abortion. There is so much to argue with, to yell at, to dispute, and to wrestle with and reinterpret. And yet, the rabbis time and time again return to the specific dangers and needs of pregnant bodies and wrestle with the perils of being a pregnant person and the vulnerability of being born.
Halakha can't exist outside our bodies. And remarkably, the rabbis of Talmud offer interpretations on reproductive health and abortion that reinforce the idea that gestating bodies, the bodies of women and non-binary people, must be at the center of the law. The general principles I describe below are gleaned from Talmudic and halachic conversations, discussions, and case studies. These discussions are full of heartache and violence and painful specificity. They are, at their gentlest, messy and are often tragic. It's clear that the rabbis are aware that pregnancy is risky and doesn't always come at the right time. In Jewish tradition, the fetus does not have the status of a person. Causing a miscarriage incurs monetary damage, not capital punishment. Mishnah is explicit that if, God forbid, there is violence which causes miscarriage, the person must pay restitution for the damage and for the pain caused to the pregnant person, but is not liable for the death of a person. Jewish tradition is also clear that full status of personhood begins at a viable birth. If a person is endangered in the act of birthing, we learn in Talmud, actions must be taken to save the birthing person's life because the life of the parent comes before the life of a fetus. I'm going to invite us to keep breathing. This is hard. There's nothing about this that's easy. Drawing from the story of the creation of humans, when God breathed into Adam, Vayhi ha'adam lenefesh chaya, at that moment, that person became a person upon receiving the breath of God. Based on that reason, the rabbis, it's when a baby begins to breathe, or when their head emerges, that they begin to be considered a person with full legal standing. A fetus does not have meaningful status for the first 40 days of gestation, and up until that point is considered part of the body of the pregnant person. Modern poskim, legal commentators, count 40 days starting at conception. Our halakha is clear that when a gestating person's life is in danger, they are permitted to abort the fetus. Commentators have been clear that the category of what it means to endanger the life of a pregnant person is expansive and includes risk to mental health and people who do not want to give birth again. 20th century Rabbi Ben Sion Chai Uziel writes that for any reason, even if it is a slim reason, such as to prevent disgrace, this gives precedent and authority to permit abortion. In other words, people can have abortions not only when a person's life is literally in danger, but because they determine that their lives would be negatively impacted by the birth. When we enter conversations today, keep breathing. It helps me too, actually. We're doing it together, we're breathing together. When we enter conversations today about the move to limit or block access to abortion and reproductive health care, we are navigating a moral and religious context that runs in opposition to Judaism's understanding of our core commitments in navigating pregnancy and birth. The violence of this moment of anticipating the overturn of Roe v. Wade is both in the court's ruling against the safety and freedom of all bodies with uteruses, and also in the elevation of Christian hegemony and the marginalization of other faith traditions, including Judaism. Learning about Jewish perspectives on abortion access is not going to change the outcome of the Supreme Court's decision. Let me be clear. But it can help us stay clear about what it is at stake and that other worlds are possible. It is not going to help us know exactly how to resist. Wouldn't that be awesome? It is not going to help us do that, but it can help us grow a more nuanced vocabulary and imagination. It reminds us it doesn't have to be this way. Religion does not inherently mandate a crackdown on women's bodies, on trans and non-binary people. Religion does not mandate that the state endanger the lives of poor people and people of color. We are grounded in our tradition, in the fullness and complexity of our tradition when we resist. So let us dream and rage and cry together. Let us mobilize, let us organize, let us learn, let us support each other through this time. Let us learn together the power of being an activist shul. I invite you, please, to reach out to me in the time to come for support, to talk about how this impending decision is impacting you. I'm in it with you. May there be times ahead that are more just, more easeful, more sweet. And may we come to merit those times through our action, through our care, through our courage, through our love. Shabbat Shalom. Let's take another breath. I'm going to invite us to open to blessing. And really, each of us just open, which is vulnerable, to receiving blessing. Because no matter how this moment is touching you, this moment is asking a lot. And so let's just take this time in our sweet sanctuary together to receive blessings. And I'm going to invite our beloved blessers on Zoom, please, to pour down your blessings so that we, as a community, can just bathe in that abundance together. So the words of our blessing are number 3 in our blue sheet. Number 18, isn't that fitting? Number 18 in our online Siddur. And if you're here with someone that you'd like to cuddle up with, I invite you please to do so. If you're here with yourself, I'm going to invite you to just give yourself a hug or hold yourself open to blessing. Hamalach hagoel oti, Hamalach hagoel oti mikol ra, yevarech et hanearim, v'karev ahem shemi, v'shem avotai, Avraham ve'Yitzchak, ve'yidgul harov, b'kerev haaretz. Yisimchem Elohim kesara, kerivka, kerachel uchelea, כפריים וכמנשה. יברכך אדוני וישמרך. יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונקה. יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום. יללי, 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 May you never feel alone. May you feel safe and at home in your body. May we remember that winter always ends. May you always be surrounded by Shekhinah. May you know how important you are to others. May the symptoms of our chronic illnesses ease up a little. May you know that the care and bravery you offer in this moment matter in the ongoing story we are writing together. May you always have bright and sunny days to look forward to. May you be safe. May you know patience and hope. May you have tissues whenever you need to cry. May the hearts of those who are narrow widen to include those who are in need. May you feel comfort that you are always doing the right thing. May we be blessed by the love from others. May we carry the message of love. Ken yehi ratzon, yalalai, 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 yalalai. We begin to seal our service with Vahashevota, page 284, number 19. Vahashevota elevavecha ki Adonai hu Elohim. Vahashevota elevavecha ki Adonai hu Elohim. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz. Bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. You may be seated. We take this time for Mourner's Kaddish, for Kadisha Tom, and the custom in our community is to share short stories, a sentence or two about loved ones that we're remembering, so we can remember them with you. And so if you're at home, I'm going to invite you, please, to share stories in the chat, and in space, I'm going to invite you, please, to indicate that you'd like to share a story. I have a list of community members and beloved loved ones of community members here, and if I don't have your loved one's name, I'm sorry, and so I will open space after I've read the list for you to then share the names of people that you're remembering. And I will come around to you with a microphone so everyone at home can also hear your stories. So please, just don't be embarrassed to wave at me if I'm not seeing you. Just let me know that you have a story to share. So we are in Shloshim in the first 30 days since the death of Jerry Gilchrist, husband of Tony and father of Dan and grandfather of Zev. Danny Cohn, grandfather of Trachtenberg. Dan Edelshik, father of Brian. And Hoke Curry, brother-in-law of Harry and Amy Funk.
Hoke was an amazing man. As Harry wrote in the note that was sent out, he was a giant intellectually, physically, and in caring. His humanity knew no bounds, from everything from the homeless man who lived on the street near them, that he treated like a human being and invited into the house, which ended up being a Thanksgiving where they provided food for many people. We are so sad at his loss.
We observe the yahrzeits of Ruth Albers, Joel's mom, Carol Barnett, beloved member of Shir Tikva, Seymour Billincoff, Joan Billincoff Corbett's father. Patricia Doyle Hodney, Christina Rothstein's mother. Diane Fishman Duquet, Andrea Rubenstein's sister. Harry Friedman, husband of Audrey and father of Megan. And Harry Friedman, Laura Friedman Shedlov's father. Claude Gedalia, Tamar's brother. Goldie Goldfein, Sharon Klauser's grandmother. Stephen Katz, Judith's brother. Michael Keenan, Molly's dad. Sylvia Kessler, Dan's mom. Richard Kramer, Jackie's dad. Marie Krakava, Tova Dominik's mother. Risha Levinson, Richard and Beverly Neistat's aunt. Charlene Nyberg, Emma Stout's grandmother. Michael O'Sullivan, father of Ari and partner of Denise Tenen. Nathan Niemer Perlman, Mandy Temple's father. Sam Royblatt, Rachel's father. Ruth Ann Rose, Ellie's grandmother. B. Miller Siegel, Anne English Titleman's great uncle. Bob Smith, Ruth Markowitz's father. Margaret Thomas, Anna Silva's sister. Phyllis Silverstein Wiener, Barbara Wiener's mom.
It's been 35 years since my mom died. And I'm older now than she was when she died. And I look in the mirror and I see her face. And I see my hands are hers. And a day hasn't gone by in 35 years that I haven't thought about her. So she was a good mother, and that is a treasure.
Perry Zlotnick, Linda Moon Zlotnick's father.
My dad didn't retire until he was 75, and then he had a second career as an artist, making incredible metal sculptures of human beings dancing.
So I'm going to open now for folks to share names and stories of people you're remembering who have died at this time in years past.
My dad, Saul Lipkin, who graduated with Perry from North High. Today's the English date of his yahrzeit. And I was just thinking about how much he liked the Minnesota Twins and how when he was in hospice, I brought my talit and I sang to him all night, every prayer that I knew. And the sun came up the next morning and the paper came to the hospice, and I read through the paper, but I knew he wanted to know how the Cleveland game had gone with the Twins. And so when I went through the box score and read all the details of the Twins, as soon as I stopped reading, that's when he took his last breath.
At the rising of the sun and as it's going down, we remember them. At the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them. At the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. At the blueness of the skies and in the warmth of the summer, we remember them. At the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them. At the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have joy we want to share, we remember them. When we have decisions that are difficult to make, we remember them. When we have achievements that are based on their guidance, we remember them. It's a yurtzeit for my mom this past week and my dad this week. And I will add to this prayer. On the second day of Rosh Hashanah, my mom and I had a ritual. We would leave the men in our family and we would go shopping. It was our thing. I remember you, Mom. My dad, when I was a little girl, we would go to the Twins game, and he taught me to keep score. I remember doing the, all the not strikes, that's bowling, right? But he taught me. And when it's baseball season, I remember him. And as long as we live, they too will live, for they are now a part of us, and we remember them.
Bolstered by that beautiful poem, I invite you please to turn to page 294 for Kadisha Tome. Number 20 in our digital Siddur, and rise in body, in spirit. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chai echon uvyom echon uvchaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru amen, yehe shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam ulamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen, yehe shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chaim alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen, oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring comfort to all those who mourn. Let us say together, amen. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you so much for sharing those beautiful stories of your people. Thank you for helping us remember them with you. May all those who are mourning know comfort. I'm going to invite up the one, the only Harry Adler to offer some announcements on behalf of the board. That's right. As Harry's coming up, first, I just want to use this opportunity to plug the Macomb Minyan, which is a group of people who are working together to make sure that we are continuing to deepen our embodiment of access, and are just doing some really visionary and loving organizing of our community. Hey, whole face, haven't seen you. Wow.
Well, it usually shows up in Zoom.
I know, exactly. I haven't seen this guy up close in a long time. I'm going to thank Harry Funk, he is the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. It's not Gordon back there, everyone. It is Harry Funk, who's not even waving. I'm sorry for embarrassing you, but thank you so much for holding us with your technological graces, for taking the time to get trained, and for letting Gordon go play a show. His band has a show tonight. Cool, Gordon. Thank you so much to Jake and Talia. Thank you so much to John Ornstein for your beautiful nigun. Thank you to Deborah for bringing this poetry and helping us ground in. Thank you to each of you for your presence here. Thank you to Julie for shamasing with so much. And Isabella, you're right. And now to you. Here are the announcements.
Not the announcements yet, because she always forgets somebody. In the Zoom, I always put it in capital letters. Thank you, Rabbi. because she brings us all together, whether we're here in this physical space or up there in the virtual space. Hello, y'all. And Shabbat Shalom to everybody. So, thank you for being with us tonight. We're so glad to have you here. At the end of the service, there'll be music playing. No, at the end of the service, please return the prayer books to the usher table. That's me back there sometime. Join us for our spring fundraiser, celebration, and picnic on May 15th at 2 p.m. In-person sign-ups are now live on our website, and we hope you'll join us for family-friendly merriment and food together outdoors. There'll be music after each of my lines here. Find all of our Shir Tikva programming updates in our weekly e-news. If you don't currently receive our emails, you can sign up on the homepage of our website. Kabbalat Shabbat. I'd read all these things here. All this stuff on this whole list? Because it's a lot here. Well, fill out the Rabbinic Discernment Working Group. Warmly invite Shir Tikva congregants to engage in conversation about the future of rabbinic leadership at Shir Tikva. We're charged to solicit and provide input to the Board of Trustees and clergy on two foundational questions. What do we value in rabbinic leadership? And consistent with these values, what experience, talent, and areas of coverage should the clergy team bring? To gather input from the broadest number of congregants, we have made an online form available to receive written input to the above questions, due May 13th. You can find the form in today's Shabbat message. And also, there's going to be all about Shiva, a night of Jewish learning and community. Rabbi Ariel and the caring community invites you to a night of Jewish learning and community. Shiva, part of the Jewish mourning ritual, takes place after the funeral, where the community shows up to comfort those who are grieving. This training will describe what we do and why we do it. Registration link is in the chat and in Monday's e-news. And just an added thing, I mean, we are a community that steps in. You know, thank you, my fellow Harry, for stepping in tonight for Gordon. And also, I know those in the Macomb Minion, we need others to sometimes just step in as well. So if you're interested in just, learning what it means to step in at the last second, send myself or Sam or a message. So thank you once again. Shabbat Shalom to everybody.
So much. All right, everyone, we're going to bless our juice and our challah. Thank you so much. I almost forgot to say thank you to David Bailey, who is now baking challah for our sanctuary space with raisins. I know. Thank you. Yesher koach. So if you're at home, I'm going to invite you please to raise your cup of blessing. And here I'm going to invite you to join me. Kiddush is on page 5. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon inchilanu zikaron le'maseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta im kol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'veratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat lechaim. And Julie is now the official challah person. Dave, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. We will close in song, but let's just take a moment to beam love to each other. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. And I'm going to invite Jake and Talia back up to seal with Adon Olam, page 321. Oh my gosh, we get to count the Omer first. Thank you. Thank you so much. So we're going to, we have little white sheets You thought the service was over. Ha ha! Okay, do you need one? Okay. Great. Leshem kichod, kuchabricho shchinte. Please rise. Hineni mochana umzumenet, לקיים מצוות עשה של ספירת העומר, של ספירת העומר, של ספירת העומר, של ספירת העומר, 7 שבתות תמימות תהיינה, 7 שבתות תמימות תהיינה. איי 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 ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו על ספירת העומר, על ספירת העומר, על ספירת העומר, על ספירת העומר. היום 21 יום, שהם 3 שבועות לעומר. This is the 21st day, which makes it 3 whole weeks of the Omer. Where is time going? Shabbat Shalom. We will seal in song, page 321. Take it away, you two.
Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem kol Yetzir Nira Ve'et Nasa V'chefso kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem kol Yetzir Nira Ve'et Nasa V'chefso kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra
ואחרי ככלות הכל,
ואחרי ככלות הכל,
לבדו ימלוך נורא,
ימלוך נורא,
והוא היה והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בתפארה, אדון עולם,
אשר מלך, בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא וחפצו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא.
והוא אחד ואין שני,
והוא אחד ואין שני,
והמשילו להכבירה,
להכבירה,
בלי ראשית בלי תכלית, ולא
העוז והמצווה, אדון עולם, אשר מלך, בטרם כל יציר נברא, עת נשא וחפצו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא.
והוא אלי וחי גואלי,
והוא אלי וחי גואלי,
וצורכב לי בצרה,
בצרה.
והוא ניסי ומנוסי,
מנקוסי ביום אקרא. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא וחפצו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא.
בידו הפקיד רוחי,
בידו הפקיד רוחי,
בית תישן והעירה, ואם רוחי גביעתי,
אדוני לי ולא יירא. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, ונשא וחפצו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא. אשר מלך טרם כל יציר נברא, ונשא וחפצו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא.
Miriam Mark.
Yeah, it's very fun, especially with the drums. But
Can't strong fast enough.
well, yeah, and it wasn't that good.
The recording, I love. I mean, I'm very open to doing things not the way the recording is. But the recording, it's like a bunch of people and a